Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to each and every one of you, depending on whatever part of the world that you're in. I say Happy New Year. This is Emily Insights. Today, I just want to give you an update of what is happening concerning our farm and just generally about goal setting, vision, objectives, what we all want to achieve this 2022. I believe in goal setting. I believe in writing the goals down. I believe in vision. I believe in, having that plan of what you want to achieve in this year. I remember some few years ago when one of my mentors asked me, why don't you write a goal to become a millionaire? And I'm talking about millionaire in dollar. It will surely have a nice ring to it. Millionaire in dollar? Typically as a Nigerian, for me, up until then, I've usually been exposed, to Naira, even while I travel out. Initially, before you spend, before you earn, whatever you earn, you try to convert back to Naira. And I'm sure some of you that listen to me have done that too. Okay. But the key main objective there was that what it will make of me in the process of having that net worth of $1 million. And I was encouraged that everything starts with a decision. That is to say, decision determines destiny. Of course, the mindsets. So I began to write this plan. And I've only just written, about 2 lines. Immediately I realized that with salary, that is just earning income. That is the income I will earn by working. Typical 9 to 5. It will be very, very challenging to be worth $1 million. And I realized that there's just no other way to go about it than to have multiple streams of income. But then as at that time, I was only earning income in salary. So the first decision was to spend less than what I was earning. And that will enable me to have that will enable me to have extra fund left after I've met all my expenses. And I could begin to use this extra, into investing. Then I started studying the lifestyle of the wealthy. I also understood from this my mentor that wealth is a study. Basically, everything in lifestyle is a study. Whatever you want to do, you have to study those that have achieved that thing that you're trying to achieve. So I was able to write down basically 4 typical ways that I could earn streams of income. And the first thing on that list was real estate. The second was business. The third was investing in stocks and shares. And the fourth was investing in, to earn fixed income. When I say fixed income, things like treasury, like bonds. Yeah. So I began to put extra fund aside. I joined an investment club. That investment club, we were putting equivalent of 25,000 Naira then. That was £100 each, because the exchange rate was actually 250 to £1. Yeah. So every month, I already set up this direct debit, like a standing order. So the money automatically, the £100 automatically goes to the guy that was exchanging, currency. And then he then credits the person in charge of this investment club then in Nigeria. So that continues every month. And the person in charge, we then use this money, was a kind of a group, about 25 of us. So this money was then being invested, into stocks, into lands, etc. So by 2 years, there were some issue, obviously, typical people, group of people with different opinions and everything. Anyway, there has always been a clause that if everybody does not agree with the objective and the vision of the club, each person will get their, they will terminate it and they will liquidate all the asset and people will get their fund. So that was exactly what happened. Beside the person that was actually coordinating, then was venture into politics, in the country. So anyway, they have to terminate and each person has to collect their fund. So this fund actually serves as a seed to purchase a land. And one of those land is actually where our farm is, today. I have to be honest, that money was not enough to purchase the land. So what we did, when I say we did, myself and my husband, was to then have additional money added to that investment proceed that were given to purchase the land. As at that time that we were buying the land, we knew that we were interested in farming, but the resources was not there to actually start the farm. So I have an uncle who helped us to buy that land. He then encouraged us that, look, even if we do not use the land for farming, that land does not go down in value. It will always appreciate. And that we can only sell the land, to get back our capital. So I said, that's fine. So that was how we end up buying this over 6 acres land that Amit Poultry Commercial Layer Farm is today. And when the student is ready, they only see the teachers do what shows up. Immediately we got the land. My mind was restless because I was thinking of ways, how do we raise funds to be able to, start this farming rather than selling, the land. Then again, I looked at the work I was doing. I sat down with my husband and we were like, we need to change jobs. We cannot, with the kind of vision that we have, we cannot carry on doing the work we were doing. And don't get me wrong, the work we were doing was a fantastic job. What I mean by that is that, it wasn't a bad job because it was still in the investment banking, financial services in UK. So, but then we decided to change job. And what is the step to change the job? To look for how do we maximize the skills we already have in terms of our experience to be able to get better pay job. So to cut it short, I had to do some professional exams, 4 stages exams, within the country. Fortunately, the bank I was working with then, decided to sponsor me for that exam because I had a meeting with my group head and let them know that is the way I wanted my career to go. So they supported my plan and my vision. Then I did the exam. The only condition was that I had to do each of the stages of that exam once, and that if I fail, I had to pay back the money they were paying to sponsor me for that exam. And it was quite a lot of money. It was around £5,000 that they were paying. So I knew that I had no choice than to pass each of those stages. And thank God, That's exactly what happened. I did each of those stages and passed the exam. But when I finished the exams, they were kind of reluctant to move me to the new department where I will be able to maximize these new skills that I've, acquired. So I had another mentor that I had a meeting with, and he then said that, look, you've passed this exam, you already have the skills, and with your previous experience, if they're not going to give you the chance, you know what, you've got to look outside. That is, look for opportunities externally in other banks. So that's exactly what I did. And as God will have it, I was able to secure a new job. That new job was actually going to pay me about 5 times what I was earning. So I resigned. I got the new job and I went to start. Immediately I started the new job. Obviously, more money was coming in. Remember, I started this video with having a plan, having a goal, having your vision. So there was no ambiguity. There was no confusion about what we're going to use that money for. Because we already have the land. There's already what we can spend that additional funds on. My husband did change his job as well. So as the money was coming in, we did not change our lifestyle. What I mean by that is that we did not increase our expenses. We basically started investing in building the farm. And that was how we started with Amit Poultry. So while we were building the farms, of course, the job continued, the earning continued. We had another land that we then used to build, real estates, some 9 blocks of flats to rent out. And because the house we were living in the UK, we already purchased that. So we decided to also go into what is called buy-to-let in UK. That is, you buy properties, then you rent out, to earn additional rental income. And what we did as well was to, right before we left Nigeria, both of us have always worked in banking system. So we are aware of the stocks and shares, the stock exchange market. So we were investing in stocks and shares as well, both within Nigeria, mostly within Nigeria then. And then we also went into fixed income. That is, treasury bills, bonds, etc. Euro bonds. Yeah. So that was our journey to begin to earn those 4 streams of income starts. What do I want to bring out in this video? It does not matter where you are. You can start. I believe that each of us are made in the image of God. So we all have God advantage. And it will not come down to do what He has already empowered us to do. He expects us to do our parts. And when we do our parts, He will then superimpose with His supernatural ability and give us victory. Of course, along the line, there might be challenges. Most likely there will be challenges. We have gone through challenges as well. But once you're resolute in your decision that no matter the challenge, you will scale through. The only stumbling block is when you give up. When you do not give up, you will scale through. And little by little, precept upon precept, I want to say the $1 million goal has been achieved. I leave that to your imagination. And actually, I then begin to think, actually, why stay at $1 million goal? After all, it can be £1 million goal. All things are doable. All things are achievable. We just have to do our own parts and believe that things are possible. And I know it might not be the same for everybody. Your own goal might be ₦1,000,000, might be 500,000, whatever it is that you have decided to do. Write it down on paper. Seek the face of God to give you that opportunities, and that when the opportunities come, you will be able to take advantage of it. And tell him, as he's preparing a place for you, he should prepare you for that place as well. Actually, I did not really realize how this poetry business that we started, the videos after appearing on Franklin shows, YouTube show, and the Bookies show, before starting my own, how it will inspire quite a lot of people, especially the diaspora community. I've received tremendous, messages, contact, email, discussion, and quite a lot has actually even started their own poetry business. And some are in the process of, starting. And some, not necessarily even poetry, different type of farming. And each time they reach out, they've been inspired with what we're doing, that if you can do it, they can also do it. And that is absolutely correct. If one person can do it, another person can do even much more. I remember one of the person that did consultation with me, he is actually building a 45,000 poetry layer capacity in Imo State. Yeah, bigger than ours. So, fam, make sure you write your goals. Make sure you write your vision. Do not let this year end and meet you exactly where you start. God has got so much in stock. Remember, everything starts with a decision. And if the dream is big enough, the fact does not count. As I said, there's no get rich quick, precept upon precept. Little by little, you will get to your destination. Another thing I want to add is how we live our life. Our kids are actually watching. It's not what we say, but what we do. My first one is actually a 22-year-old. He's going to be 23 this year. And he's been, working very hard. Obviously, because he's in UK, so the opportunity is there, for young people to work. You come out of university, you're able to work, leverage on your parents' experience to be able to know the sector you want to go in. And he will be buying his first property this year. So my prayer is that God will bless the work of our hand, He will establish it. And each of us will come out victoriously. We have good testimonies, and our lives will be inspiration to others. Thank you. God bless, and have a wonderful day, and blessed week, blessed month, blessed year. Command every day that this 2022 will only serve you good news, joy only. That is what you should decree. After it is said, we have the power to decree a thing, and that thing will be established. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.